Well, hello, everyone. If you have landed here, you've landed on Let's Talk News. I'm your host, Leticia Remauro, and I am running late. And something weird is going on with my computer. Don't know what the lighting looks like, don't know what anything looks like. Doesn't matter. As long as you and I can talk, I guess that's all that matters. And we have a lot to talk about today. Hi, Colleen. How are you, darling? Good to have you. And you're early. And Kevin from across the earth is here with us. Good to have you, Kevin. Thank you. Hi, Francine. Good to have you with us. Um, some strange stuff is happening. And I have some clips I want to show you, and my computer's all of a sudden not letting me cut them. So I'm going to try and figure out a different way to show them to you. Um, but tonight's show, I thought that we would talk a little bit about Rama Dwali, um, Mrs. Mamdani, and her support of Hamas and um, just her whole anti-Semitic stance, but not just her. I wanted to connect some dots for us between Mayor Mamdani and Roy Neville Singham and George Soros. So yeah, and we've been talking about Singham and not so much Soros, because Soros to me is old news. We know a lot about him, but Singham is he's trouble. He's trouble. So at any rate, let's see. Lucille, how are you, OG? Good to have you. Um, does it look good? Okay, I don't know. For me, everything right now is too bright and not looking great, but that's okay. Good evening, Kevin Young. Aloha, oil 85 a barrel. Yeah, it's coming down. It's going to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic for, at least a couple of weeks. I mean, I cannot believe that we have people in Congress that are like, is it over yet? Is it over? I mean, really, are we children? Has our 180 character attention span gotten to the point of, oh, we have to win a war in 10 days, or otherwise it's a forever war? Um, you know, eh, I've had it. I've really had it. I've had it. Hello, Karen. Good to have you. Hi, Deb. Angela Ricca is with us. Hamas has been kicked out of Lebanon and asking our help to make peace with Israel. Yeah, it's the world is upside down. I'm a little concerned. I'm not concerned. I have zero concern, which is unlike me. I have zero concern about Trump and what he's doing. I feel good about this. I do see that Congress is showing its dirty, rotten, slimy belly. All right, John Thune, who I knew we shouldn't have fucking put him there, because he's a Mitch McConnell, lackey, holding up the Save America Act. Trump wants us to use the correct name. That's crazy shit. The president should not be begging for them to pass something that 80% of Americans want passed. So everything is happening in front of our faces now. Nobody's hiding it anymore. We're seeing now with the audit in Arizona, we saw that there were 700,000 absentee ballots that were never asked for, that they can't track. They came back, but they can't track. And that's one of the things I'm having a hard time showing you is a petition gathering expedition that was being done on the streets, where these two young women were paying $5 a signature for people to come up and sign somebody else's name and address on a petition. They were giving them the information of whose name and address to sign, and those people were signing, and they got $5. Now, the only thing that I wasn't able to glean from this video was what the petition actually said. Just because I didn't have time. I will find out, but it did look like a petition to get candidates on the ballot. I don't understand how they are holding up that SAVE Act. TSA is a nightmare and ICE is funded. They are just throwing a tantrum. Well, it's not the Democrats, it's the Republicans. That's the problem. It's Thune. It's Thune and it's Rand Paul and it's all those other swamp creatures. They all have to go. They all have to go. I'm starting, and I never thought I'd say this because I was born a Republican and I'm going to die a Republican, I think. But we need to get rid of both parties in Washington. We need to scrub house because the Democrats aren't Democrats anymore and the Republicans aren't Republicans anymore. They're both the same. And I feel like we're going to find some pods in the back and people are going to unzip themselves. Hello, Ramon. Good to have you. One only have 2 running for Congress here in Hawaii against the old school corrupt individuals. How many Congress people do you have in Hawaii? I have to be honest. I know very little about Hawaii. I know very little about many of the states. I don't study other states. I was always New York politics, So it'd be interesting. I'd like to know. Hi, Mickey Beatrides. How are you? Hope mom is good. Hello, mama. Good to see you. All right. So let's go over to let's I'm sure a lot of you saw this, but just for those who didn't, let's take a look at what Mrs. Mamdani did. What the First Lady of New York City did.
Controversy tonight over a report about social media activity linked to Mayor Zohran Mamdani's wife. Rama Duwaji now facing criticism over liking posts about the October 7th attack on Israel. The news drawing strong reaction from many, especially the Jewish community. The investigation by the Free Press found Rama Duwaji, the mayor's wife, liked an Instagram post that referred to sexual violence reported during Hamas's October 7th attack on Israel as a, quote, mass rape hoax. We did some digging and found the post ourselves. And another post she liked that described the attack that killed about 1,200 people as, quote, collective liberation. Myra Clark Siegel with the American Jewish Committee called the First Lady's actions unacceptable.
I was shocked. I checked my phone several times to make sure that I read it correctly because I think that speaks for itself. The fact that we're having this conversation today, which is International Women's Day, really begs the question about this issue at all. The fact that anybody is liking a social media post, much less with the reports up to 70 similar kinds of media post likes, that celebrates the murder or the sexual assault, the kidnapping of women is unacceptable.
Mayor Mamdani addressed the controversy during a news conference on Friday.
My wife is the love of my life, and she's also a private person who has held no formal position on my campaign or in my city hall. I, however, was elected to represent all 8.5 million people in this city, and I believe that it's my responsibility, because of that role, to answer any questions about my thoughts and my policies and my decisions.
Do you believe that this situation requires a clearer response or explanation from the mayor or his office?
I think that it doesn't matter who the person is, whether you're a private citizen or you're a public official. First of all, if you're on the cover willingly of a news magazine, then you are not simply a private citizen. But whether you are or not, it doesn't matter.
The news comes as anti-Semitic incidents continue to rise nationwide and in New York, where more than 2 million Jews live in the metro area. We also reached out to the mayor's office for clarification on the issue and a response from the First Lady herself.
Okay. So, Mamdani is basically saying he's going to defend his wife. And I just don't understand how that can be defended. Because you are the mayor of the city that has more Jews than Israel. And, well, that's not true, but you know what I mean. The Jewish people make up a large portion of New York City. And they actually, a lot of them voted for him. And we're going to find out why in a minute. But so how do you just blow it off? I don't know. I mean, am I the only one that has a real problem with this? Let me know. Let me know. Let's see. Let's see. Where did we go? Mamdani would be a one-term mayor. I don't know. I don't know, because he has the power to change the rules in the Board of Elections, right? No one is a private person on social media, not anymore. Mamdani and his wife are terrorists and should be on the terrorist list. It's interesting where they come from, the Democrat Socialists of America, both of them. Very interesting. Yeah, liar indeed. She's married to a public official. Game over. Yeah, well, but apparently they're giving him a pass. They're giving her a pass. They're giving him a pass. The media is, I mean, they are the media darlings, and the media is protecting them. 2 Senate and 2 House members. Okay. All right. So like Maine, right? I think Maine has 2 and 2. Mamdani the liar. Yeah, he is. Oof, really, and he's not the only one. There's others. The Democrat Socialists are running Muslim candidates in all over, including Georgia. It's very, very, very scary. I heard Mamdani blame the protesters for triggering the guy enough to throw the IED. Is that true? Yeah, he kind of said everybody was peaceful until they were pushed too far. And basically the New York Times is saying the same thing. CNN too was like coddling them, like, oh, these poor kids, they were just protesters, they were just coming down, and they found themselves in this very untenable position where they wound up getting arrested for throwing IEDs that just happened to pop up in their hand. The Jews voted for him. They did. They absolutely did. Hello, Susan Durema. How are you? Everyone on talk radio are talking about it. Are talking about, All right. So let's see. So does anybody know who Alicia Singham is? Alicia Singham Goodwin. She happens to be Neville Roy Singham's niece. And she headed up the Jews for Mamdani. Watch.
I'm a Jew for Zohran because I'm so excited to get free buses in New York City. That's really it. No, there's a lot more. I've seen how he organizes and gets real results by working with everyone around the city, and it would impact my life personally so much to have a rent freeze in my rent stabilized apartment, to have free childcare, and to have fast and free buses. And also it would impact my life so much in New York if everyone had those things, because that would mean my neighbors and I can keep being neighbors for the next 40 years in our apartment building. And our parks will be more green and beautiful, and it'll just be a safer, better place for everyone.
So she's the head of Jews for Racial and Economic Justice. The problem is that is she really even Jewish? Well, let's just take a look. Meet Alicia Singham Goodwin, political director at Jews for Racial and Economic Justice and niece of China-based billionaire Neville Roy Singham, a key funder of anti-Israel activism. Under her direction, the group Jews for Zohran is pushing Zohran's mayoral bid not as a grassroots Jewish movement, but as a politically orchestrated effort now backed by figures like Comptroller Brad Lander and Rep. Jerry Nadler, who are working to sway Senator Chuck Schumer. It goes on to say that she's not even Jewish. This is all coming out of the People's Forum, which is the group that Singham and his wife have funded. They are an offshoot of the Democrat Socialists of America. And guess who is part of the Democrat Socialists of America? You got it, Allison. She is she's just bad news. Let's see. Alicia Singham Goodwin was arrested at an anti-Israel protest in October 2023, 1 week after Hamas murdered 1,200 Israelis. As of August 2025, Goodwin was listed as the political director of the anti-Israel group Jews for Racial and Economic Justice. Since June 2023, Goodwin has expressed hatred of Israel in her JFREJ activism. In July 2025, Goodwin was reportedly an organizer for the past decade with the New York City chapter of the Democrat Socialists of America, known as NYCDSA. She is a supporter of the boycott, divestment, sanctions movement. Okay, so this woman was lying to everyone. She's done a couple of podcasts, and they duped the Jews in New York into believing that they were, grassroots and unpaid. And we're coming to learn now that this is an extension of the Democrat Socialists of America. We're being played, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a big problem here because, as we talked about already, who are making these decisions? Women. What's going on with women? They're losing their minds. They're over-medicated and overstressed. We've got real problems here. The goats would place accusations against Mamdani. Very good. Gimme. Yeah. Paid actress. Yeah, well, she is. This is all orchestrated, every single bit of it. The same way as this guy from what's his name, Dan Mahmoud, is running for Congress in the 108th, I think it's 108th district in Georgia. Came up, met with Zohran because Zohran is an organizer to help get people elected. This is all part of the DSA, the Democrat Socialists of America. This is a very well organized machine. Soros showed that he could do it with the bail bonds back in, when was it, 2015, when I was working with the Bail Bonds Association. And that's how bail got overturned. And now we have the DSA electing. There have been mayors elected all over America through the Democrat Socialists of America. And now I just heard Laura Ingraham say it as I was coming on, that now they're actually canvassing people to serve on jury duty because we Americans don't want to serve on jury duty. So they are finding people to actually serve on juries to let people go, to hang the juries and let people go. We got ourselves into this shit, and now we got to get ourselves out of it. So she is a shill. She is 100% a shill. She is a mole. What would you call it? A spook? What would you call it? I mean, if it was the government doing it, she's a plant. A plant. That's the word. A plant. He isn't creating rent freezes. He's going to make them go up. Yeah. The goal is to get all the property. That's the goal. Hi, Colleen. Hi, Leticia Remauro. Hi, Tom. How are you? It's going to come down between the Democrat Socialists of America and America First Republicans. Yeah, it 100% is. And it's going to be ugly. It really is. We have a fake Republican Muslim woman who ran unopposed in North Carolina. Fucking crazy in the Bible Belt. Yeah. And she's going to be on the ballot. Okay, so what else did I want to show you? Hold on a second. Okay. So this is more about what's her name? So just a little bit. This is from Front Page Magazine. Daniel Greenfeld. It was a really, really good article. And it's a little bit about the People's Forum. The People's Forum is funded by Neville Roy Singham, a Maoist millionaire living in communist China, whose Shanghai office faces a red banner that reads in Chinese, "Always follow the party." Resting on a shelf is a plate depicting Xi. Singham has rapidly become the Soros of communist Leninist Maoist force in America, funding an extreme network of propaganda and activism from a Shanghai office where reportedly red and yellow office is commemorate the centenary of the founding of the Communist Party of China, based on the little red light of stars that serves as a revolutionary force that sets out from the east to connect the world. Born to a Sri Lankan radical professor father who had palled around with Castro, and to a Chinese academic mother and raised in Chicago, Singham's story had echoes of Obama and Kamala, but unlike them, he has less interest in disguising his agenda or his plans for America. The People's Forum makes little effort to hide what it is. Its storefront is decorated with Cuban PLO and Venezuelan flags, where copies of Castro's speeches and China's Great Road are read. Okay, now last week, Nate Friedman, I was showing his stuff on this show, and interestingly, Will Kane picked it up, and today he had Nate Friedman on. I was so excited and so glad of that, because we have to spread it, and our little show is just not enough for anybody to watch. And I'm hoping that he's going to pick up about Alicia Singham. Only the New York Post and this magazine were the only two to write about it. So let's see. DSA is getting stronger here in Hawaii. Republican Party members are paid opposition. Yeah, you've been telling us that, Centillion, and I get it. I believe it. We're getting eaten. We're getting eaten. And lies are just, people are on social media actually saying that Iran is eating our lunch, and that they've blown up all our Air Force bases, and that we're losing the war. And people are literally, the anti-Trumpers are believing it. I can't. And if a far left Democrat has the nerve to say that we're kicking Iran's ass, people descend on that person like a lunatic. Yeah, oh no, we're not. Iran is winning. America's losing. There is some kind of propaganda going on that is not great. And it's happening on the inside and the outside at the same time. And that's scary for me. I trust Trump. I don't trust the swamp. Let's see. And not that one in Texas. Oh, yeah. But, and you know what? Not for anything, but why is Fox News, Talarico, why are they paying attention to him? If you keep on putting it out there, then, the algorithms pick it up. So why is Fox News paying attention? He's not going to win in Texas. He's not. Why did New Yorkers vote for a man like Mamdani if all this about him is true freedom news? Because people in New York especially want everything in 180 characters and 6-second sound bites. And they don't want the truth. They want the propaganda. Whoever sells it better, that's who they're going with. I did not write true freedom news. Oh, okay. The anti-Trumpers are excited that they think we're losing nut jobs. Yeah, they want that. They want that out there, because if we win, and if we're winning, then our morale will go up, and that will defeat what they're trying to do, which is undermine America. Listen, we've been telling the truth here for almost 5 years now about what is really going on in this country and the undermining of America. And now it's all out on the table. It's all out on the table, from the 2020 election to China actually, hanging out. And what was that? Rachel Maddow was saying how that President Trump and Putin had a call, and Putin was the one to put it out, not Trump. And it's because Trump had to check in with Putin. I mean, does she not understand what Trump is doing to Russia right now? How do they not understand that what Trump is doing with Venezuela and Cuba and Russia, and Iran, is hurting Russia and China? They don't see it because they don't understand world affairs, because that's not their job. Their job is to stay high and to stay anti-Trump. I think they put him up to show how crazy he is. I don't know, Jasmine Crockett, and it doesn't. people do not have time to sit and watch TV all day. So they're going to listen to the news in snippets, and they're going to get it on social media. If everywhere you turn, the name James Tallarico is out there, then they've made a superstar. No, they need to stop it. They did the same thing with what's her name? The Virginia one. We got to stop this shit. We got to stop it. Even I saw they said a U.S. warship was sunk by Iran. I responded, which one? I got bashed once again for asking. Yeah. I mean, it's crazy now. I think good Republicans are living their lives and don't want to run for office because they see how dirty it is. This leaves the door open for Dems to infiltrate and run as Republicans. They don't mind getting dirty. Well, that's why they're smart enough to fit in wherever they can. They're now putting people in for jury duty and teaching them how to be picked. So lunatics are showing up for jury duty. Paid shills are showing up for jury duty. And we have to live in that world as criminals roam the street. It's not bad enough that we have already situations with criminals killing people, that judges are letting out in the street. Maddow said she heard from the Kremlin. Yeah, well, no, Putin put out a read because Putin wanted it to get into the press because he knew that Trump wouldn't put out a read because he didn't want to talk to him. Trump didn't want to talk to Putin. Putin, was giving intelligence to Iran, and Trump was not going to get on the phone. He did not want to give Putin the dignity. Okay. I believe that it's time to form the America First Republicans in order to challenge the Democrat Socialists of America, while also to bolster the Republican strength, meaning that American patriots take control of the GOP to send the rhinos straight to the zoo. That would be good. Where's the money coming from? We need money because hard is not enough. It might be enough, but we need money and we need organization. No ship was destroyed by Iran. No ship was destroyed by Iran. Okay, I'm going to share my screen, I think. Let me see. Can I do it? Yeah. Let's see if I can do it because I want you to see this. Okay, let's see if it works. Hold on. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Cancel. I think it's this one. Present. Is this present? Share video file. All right. Share video file. I think it's this one. Let's see. Okay. Open.
Excuse me. Hey, what's the line for?
For sign petition. Shut up! Don't say nothing no more. They get $25 to sign a petition.
They get $25?
$5.
$5. Okay. Would you have to have your ID?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Fuck no. Never. I've never been so disrespectful in my life.
They laughing at you. You don't let them.
What do I need?
They laughing. My bad. Yeah, just.
What is this?
Him? I don't know. Him. What name do you got? What name is that?
The Crocker.
Jeffrey Crocker. We'll be here. Come back. Yeah, you here. You only signed 2 of them so far, right?
Yeah. That's a scribble and have
He signed 2 of them?
Jeffrey, don't scribble.
He signed 2 of them.
Yeah, I know. I'm not gonna lie, keep getting on, so.
It's gonna get
I get $5 too?
Yeah.
And what is it?
Just sign it.
Just sign it?
Yeah. You ready now? First name is going to be Carol. Last name Sanderson. This is the address right here. This is the city, Avila Beach. And this is the zip code. Hold that. So remember, first name is Carol. I get it. Yeah. I got you. Sign that here.
Earlier.
Oops. How do I get rid of this? Hold on. Remove. Okay. So it's in Mission, California. And they're organized to get petition signatures. Now, clearly she caught on to him beforehand. Yeah. Where is that video? You got to post it. Yeah, I have to figure out how to post it. Because as I said, I got it just as I was coming on the air, and then my computer started doing some crazy stuff, but I will get all the backstory and do it. There's another one that I want to show you. Mission, California. It is a long line for $5, but they're all junkies, right? Let's see if I can do the other one. This is the one from this is the one from Georgia. Where is it? Let's see if this works. No, that's not going to work. Hold on. Not that one. All right, it's got to be this one. Crap. Okay.
I'm running for Congress here in Georgia, and I discovered something very disturbing. There's a guy named Don Mahmoud who is running for House District 109 here in Georgia for a Georgia House seat. He recently flew to New York to have a visit with the new mayor, Zohran Mamdani. And when he came back, he started hashtagging everything Decision 168. Now, that's not a law. It's not a state law. It's not a federal law. It's an ideology. And it's activism language for no borders, mass migration, and basically a takeover. So what happens is this guy, it happens slowly. He'll get into our government. He'll change the infrastructure. He'll pass laws that allow people to take over. It's actually really scary. And here is a few photos for y'all. And it's happening all over the country.
So I'm going to dive into Decision 168. There's two things that I wasn't able to do in time for the show was to dive into those two things. So I will, and I will get back to you tomorrow. Wipe out socialism and Sharia law together, make it against the law. I don't know how you can make it against the law, make a law against the law. You know what I mean? I think what we have to do is just make people want to be American again. That's what we need to do. Okay, that was all of it. All right, guys, I'm going to see you tomorrow at 8:00, and I will get these up in shorts, and I'll get you some more information on that. What the hell is going on is a takeover of America. It is the young people want socialism because women are crazy and they want everything, and they think that they have a right to happiness. They don't understand it's a right to pursuing happiness. So that's what's going on. But that's how they get elected. This is how it happens. So our eyes are open. So we see it. The problem is, like tonight, last week, my shows were reaching thousands. Now tonight, they're reaching hundreds. Every time it's a Neville Roy Singham situation, it goes down. I mean, my shorts about Neville Roy Singham, 5 people see them. There's something in the algorithm, because that's what he used to do, right? He used to, that's how he made his money. So I believe that when you say his name, it's kind of, the algorithm stops. We have to find another way around. We have to all keep talking about it, because if we each get 2 people, then it'll spread. Do you understand what I'm saying? But something is going wrong here, and there's only one man and his team fighting for us, and he's fighting against not only the Democrats, but he's also fighting against the swampy Republicans. We gotta really put on our armor and start getting ready for the battle. And the battle is our wits and our mouth. Bring attention to it. Write to every news station. I'm going to post this. Tag every news station, not just Fox, CBS, ABC, all of them. Let's see if we get WABC. Let's see if people will start talking about this shit. Okay, love you all. See you tomorrow, 8 p.m.